Guys, we just did a podcast with Gabby Show! We talked about everything. We talked about love, relationships, sex,
vibrators,
music,
and not masturbating with your hands.
Not masturbating with your hands, us making out.
My net worth.
You just looked at my mouth.
You
Go
have a
listen to the
boyfriend.
podcast. Hey, what's up, you guys? Yes, welcome back to another creepy video. Now, I don't know about you, but there is nothing scarier to me than a hospital. The sounds of people crying and being in pain as you're walking down the halls. The smell of blood and sometimes even death. The awful food. Don't get me started. All in all, hospitals are probably my least favorite place in the world. But there's something that we need. I mean, if there's something wrong with us, we go to the hospital and they fix it. Right? Well, that's how it's supposed to work, but sometimes they mess up. And they mess up bad. Now, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I can't believe this is true. But medical mistakes are the third leading cause of death in America. That's right. Number 1, heart disease. Number 2, cancer. And number 3, medical errors. Over 250,000 people a year die because of some fuck up that happened at the hospital.
Stunning medical news tonight about how many Americans have something go wrong when they go to the hospital. The astronomical new number, 1 in 3 patients will face a mistake during a hospital stay.
Yeah, 1 in 3, which means it's probably going to happen to a third of the people that watch this video. Well, today we're going to be looking at some of the craziest medical mistakes that have ever happened. And some of these are incredibly disturbing, so if you are scared of hospitals already, this is only going to make it worse. Okay, I'm going to start with something that is one of my biggest fears, and it is not going to make it any better. First, we're going to talk about death from an MRI. Now, I'm sure you've all seen them. MRI machines are terrifying. Massive, scary tubes that are in the dark, and you go into them and you can't move. Now, the M in MRI stands for magnet. Now, imagine a magnet the size of an MRI machine, because that's what it is. Yeah, that huge machine is literally a big, powerful magnet. And obviously, if there's anything metal around this magnet, I remember going into these machines when I was a kid, and even recently, and hyperventilating, because all I could think of was like, oh my god, there's a wire behind my teeth. What if the wire gets sucked through my teeth and hits the fucking magnet? Or what if I forgot to take my keys out of my pocket and it rips my pants off? Or what if the metal in my leg from when I broke my ankle just rips out of my leg? Like, literally the scariest thing I could think of. Now, obviously, they take as many precautions as they can. Sometimes mistakes do happen. So obviously, metal objects should be nowhere near an MRI machine when it's in use. But in 2001, in a New York hospital, that happened. There was a young man named Michael Colombini, and he was getting a scan. The nurse walked into the room with a large metal oxygen tank. And as you can imagine, it did not go well. The big metal oxygen tank flew to the MRI machine and struck Michael in the head as it went. Now, this killed him instantly.
Take a look at this video researchers make after Michael's death. It shows just how fast that metal oxygen tank kills him.
Okay, that was really dark, so I'm gonna move to something a little lighter, but honestly, very scary to me. This is the medical mistake of the accidental breasts. Now, we've all heard the crazy plastic surgery stories of people who go in to look like somebody and they come out looking very different. I mean, some patients go under the knife so often that sometimes they literally can't even open their eyes.
Marilyn Lease wants to look a little younger, but after eyelid surgery, she's unable to fully close her eyes.
I mean, people are changing themselves beyond recognition. They want the perfect teeth, the perfect cheeks, the perfect body. And then sometimes we might think they go too far. And then sometimes it gets really dark. For example, what happened to former beauty queen Solange Mignano. Now, Solange went in to get her butt injected because she wanted to make it a little bit bigger. Well, a few days later, she died. Some kind of foreign matter traveled from the injection material through her bloodstream all the way to her lungs and stopped her from breathing. All because of a butt implant that got fucked up. Now, that story is awful, but this one is worse. Alexander Bias was a model, an actor, and former Mr. Mexico and Mr. Universe runner-up. Now, Alexander had a small tumor removed from his chest, and he wanted to fix it. Well, he went to the office of a man named Dr. Reinaldo, who's also known as the Butcher of South Beach. Yeah, the Butcher.
Baez's desire to revive his career brought him here to this office in Miami Beach. The man inside told him he was a doctor who could literally turn back the clock. restoring Baez's chest to the rugged perfection that had brought him so much attention.
Now, after Alexander's pec surgery from literally con artists who are not surgeons, Alexander wasn't given the 2 male pecs that he asked for. He was given 2 female breasts.
After implant surgery to boost his chest muscles even more, Alexander Baez wound up like this.
Just listen to how the South Beach Police Department described it. It literally sounds like a horror movie. Mr. Baez, who had been given ketamine, an anesthetic used on animals, kept waking up in tears as Mr. Ronaldo tried to force the 2 large implants into his chest. This is the craziest part. This insane surgery was filmed. The captain of the police department said, "It was a butcher job you wouldn't want to have happen to your dog." Now, Dr. Ronaldo skipped town after this happened because he had a bunch of other people that he had given bullshit surgeries to that he was trying to run away from too. But luckily they found him and they put him in jail. Only for 7.5 years, but I don't know. Oh, and by the way, in case you were wondering, he literally used cake spatulas to shove the breast implants into Alexander's chest. Oh my god. We gotta move on. Okay, now this next thing we're gonna talk about is something I talked about like 6 months ago. So if you've already heard about this, you can skip this part of the video. But if you haven't, oh my god, this is going to ruin going to the hospital for you. If you haven't heard of something called anesthesia awareness, I'm sorry.
Patients who remain wide awake and paralyzed while doctors cut them open. It is excruciatingly painful, as you'd imagine. It's also more common than you might think.
That's right. You're literally being put under to go into surgery. You can't move, you can't talk, you can't open your eyes, but you can feel every single cut. Everything, every scalpel. If you're getting heart surgery, you'll feel them crack your ribs open. If you're getting stomach surgery, you'll feel them burning your stomach. And you can't do anything. You literally have to lay there and be in your head and not be able to get out. Now, like I said before, this is something that happens a lot. 1 in 700 people will have this happen to them. 1 in 700. You know what that means? I'm really bad at math, but if 2 million people watch this video, 1 in 700, I'm really bad at math. I don't know, a shit ton of you guys might have this happen to you, and me too. Now, the amount of pain that you're going through during the surgery and you're not able to get out or move or tell somebody to stop is so insane that some people think about killing themselves.
There was a pain that you cannot deal with.
It just goes on, and you're screaming inside your head.
Well, in 2006, a man actually did. Sherman Sizemore took his own life after having an experience with anesthesia awareness. His family says that he was conscious through 16 minutes of his stomach surgery. Oh my god. Sorry, that actually just made me sick. If you didn't see this video I did a while ago, I interviewed a girl who actually had this happen to her, and she was having awareness during an insane surgery, and oh my god, just look at a clip.
But while your flesh is burning, you can smell it, which is something that I never even imagined happen in surgery. It's something you just never think about, like what does surgery smell like? But while you're smelling it, you're also kind of tasting it. And in case you're wondering, burnt flesh smells and tastes like barbecue and burnt hair.
Oh, yeah. It is very, very real. So please, if you are going to get surgery, make sure they have a brain monitor. Make sure you ask about anesthesia awareness, because some hospitals do have ways of making sure it doesn't happen, but a lot don't. Ugh, it's just, it's too much. All right. This last thing I'm going to talk about is, I'm sure, what you've all been waiting for. Things that have been accidentally left inside of a person's body. That's right, this happens, once again, a lot. Just from 2005 to 2012, 772 incidences of foreign objects left in patients occurred. What? Now, this happens so often in the medical world that they have a phrase for it. Retained surgical items. Or, shit we fucking left inside that person. Now, obviously, there's been scissors and scalpels and other very, very scary things left inside of people's bodies. But sometimes they're little, but they cause even more damage. There was a woman named Sophia in Kentucky who had a small sponge left inside of her for 4 years. Now, the sponge rotted into her body and caused permanent bowel damage. Now, because of this huge mistake, she got $2.5 million. And yeah, that's a lot of money, but her body's permanently hurt from that situation. Now, this one is worse. In 2000, there was a man named Donald Church who went in for surgery because of what looked like a beer gut in this photo. Now, it was not a beer gut at all. It was a huge tumor in his abdomen the size of a bowling ball. Now, luckily, they removed it with no complications, so they thought. 74 days later, he had to go back to the hospital because he felt awful and he kept collapsing. Now, I'm gonna warn you, this is going to make you kind of sick. So sit down if you're not. When he went back to the hospital, they found out that they had left a 13-inch stainless steel tool inside of his stomach. Oh my God. When I heard this one, I literally got diarrhea. Now he's okay, they removed it and he's fine. I mean, I don't know how, but he is. But 13 inches, I can't even, like that's, just imagine having this inside of you. That was a weird visual, let's put this back. Now if you've ever had any kind of surgery of any kind, you might want to feel around your body and see if there's anything that feels off. Because there's a huge chance that you have something that the doctor might have left inside of you. And that random metal object might be slowly killing you. Alright, now you probably thought that was gonna be it, but it's not. I'm gonna give you a bonus round. Now you've probably never heard of this. I hadn't either until I started looking into it. There is something called internal surgical fires. That's right, a spontaneous fire that could erupt in your body during surgery. Now surgical fires sound crazy, but they happen. And they happen 600 times a year. That's like, twice a day. I'm bad at math, but I think that's almost twice a day. All right, here is one of the stories, and it comes from a girl named Lauren, and it is intense.
I kind of asked her if my eyebrow was still there, and she said that that was going to be the least of my problems.
Both eyes swollen shut, with large blisters hanging from her skin, Lauren was rushed to Metro Health Medical Center's burn unit.
Now, Lauren was told because of the problems that happened during surgery, she would have a sunburn effect on her face. Well, when her parents unwrapped her facial bandages, they were horrified. Lauren was the victim of a surgical fire. Now, this fire occurred during surgery, either on the outside or the inside of her body. Now, inside of a hospital room, there are tons of different items that could cause a fire. I mean, you have lasers, gas tanks, plastic, wires, so many different ingredients that could be used to start a fire. And think about it this way, with all the alcohol that they use to clean you and swab on your body, and how flammable human fat is, that's asking for a fire. Now, luckily, hospitals are getting a lot smarter about how to prevent this and how to deal with it, but it is a real thing, and it is scary. Well, there you guys go. Hopefully you enjoyed all of these scary medical mistakes. Now, this video in particular was really hard for me to make. It was hard for me to think about. It was just, all of it is literally my worst nightmare. So I hope it gives you nightmares too, because I don't want to be alone. All right, you guys, if you want more videos like this, I was thinking about doing a video about the scariest things that have ever happened in an emergency room. And if you want that, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel right down below and hit the notification bell because I make new videos every day. And if you want to see the full video I did about anesthesia awareness, it is nuts. You might pass out. I literally almost passed out when I was filming it. I will put a link to it right at the top of the description below. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go. And if you have to go to the hospital soon, good luck.